Good morning. Wednesday. Halfway through the week. Technically not really, since Monday was off, but whichever. Yeah, today's topic. How much do we let the real world influence our D&D? Now, I'm not talking about... Well, I guess I should really talk about as well players and when they can and can't make sessions, but that might actually be a completely different topic than what I originally envisioned. No, what I'm talking about at the moment more specifically is things like holidays and special occasions. Do we let real world events creep into our D&D games? Now, I know everyone's probably seen The Big Bang Theory at some point, and that episode with the Christmas Dungeons and Dragons game that went horribly and comedically wrong. Maybe not even to that extent, though. But to what extent do we acknowledge real-world holidays in our roleplay? And there's a couple ways to do this, really. You can do something that we have seen Critical Role do, which is have a holiday in the in the game world, the Winter's Crest Festival, which is kind of symbolic of the real world holiday. The trick to that being, of course, is that your game world time does not move the same speed as the real world. So the odds are that you might find that your characters are then celebrating Winter's Crest in the middle of the summer at some point. Which, in and of itself, is an interesting idea. The other option is to do something to mark the real world date, which I have decided on occasion that I will do. Give you a prime example. Christmas 2016. Our group had been making their way through a hell of a dungeon. It had put them through the ringer. I am a fan of the old Gygaxian style traps and puzzles and all of the things that are not actually a monster but can still kill your players. I love those things. So I built a dungeon around them. And the players had been crawling their way through it for 2 or 3 weeks at the time. And they were in pretty bad shape. And Christmas fell between 2 sessions. So at the midweek point between those sessions, I sent out a message to all of my players describing a moment in time. They had left the game at the end of a long hallway, which they knew to be filled with traps that they were trying to get through. But that was the point that we had called the game for the evening, thinking, we'll come back to this next Monday. And I described a moment as they were all staring down this long hallway, and as a rolling frost began to coat all of the surfaces, and how as the frost touched them, they felt cold, but they also felt a warming sensation, a happy sensation, rather than a fearful one. And they watched as the ice began to form shatter the traps that were in front of them. And they felt that warmth within them grow. And a few moments passed, and then it slowly faded. And that was the end of it. And what they discovered then on Monday was that they had all been restored to full hit points, and any status effects, poisons, etc. that were on them had all been removed. It was a confusing moment for the characters because they have no idea where this force came from that's helped them. For the players, they knew what it was. It was a Christmas present. And I don't think they realized until after the fact how much it helped them, because they actually were almost all suffering from some ill effect that they didn't even know they were. So it was a very small thing, but it was a very big thing. And it was a way of recognizing that it was Christmas without completely derailing the game that was going on. Now, I'm not saying that should happen for every holiday. And I won't even say that I'll do it for every Christmas or every anything. But when a day like that approaches, and you feel that there is a narrative element that you can put in that will give a nod to it without derailing your game, why not? It's a little nice moment for the players to think, oh well, yeah, we got something really nifty for Christmas. You know, he's helped us out. He's, you know, and I'm going to be honest with that one especially. I'm almost positive that prevented at least one player death. It may have prevented two. That's the state they were in before and after. One of them had a curse on them that would have dealt quadruple fire damage if they were hit with fire. And the next encounter was with a fire giant. You know, things like that just would have really just not gone well. So yeah, I mean, have fun with it. But it doesn't have to be, well, it doesn't have to be a Santa Claus themed Christmas rescue in order to give a nod to a special day. I think that's going to be about it today. A little bit shorter than normal, but it was a topic that I wanted to cover. And on that note, I do have a player who has a birthday today. So happy birthday, Doc. And if you're watching this as a birthday present, the next time Vorian draws from his deck of many things, if he draws at least 2 cards, he can have 1 redraw. Temptation and present all in one. So have fun with that. Like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow.